We're going to go on to Duluth news, and I just want to start with a statement that property taxes are theft. As we're looking at all the spending that's going on by the government and all the ways that they're trying to push it down to property taxes, they love them some property taxes. You know why? Because they've got you. You can't not pay property taxes. Sales tax you can avoid. Income tax you can actually avoid. You can't stop property taxes. They'll just take your property, kind of like the mob. You know, you think you own your property, but if you don't pay your taxes, the state takes it from you and it will sell it for you. And they'll take the money and then they'll sell it to somebody who will pay their taxes. So I got that because I didn't have much Duluth news, but I started thinking about the Lester Park Golf Course, and if they were to put a resort there, the city of Duluth needs to start looking at ways to actually generate revenue for the city by if they want to do it by taxation, we've got a resort tax. It gets us a lot of money. Why not put something on the East End, which is notoriously mostly just housing, and housing is, property taxes. How about put a resort out at Lester Park Golf Course? How about put that out there, get the resort tax, and then take some of that resort tax you're getting on top of everything else, sales, the local, every other tax, and then push it back to the owners in Duluth. That's what they do on Maui. You have very low property taxes because you're getting that money from the resorts. And I think the people that live closest to what resort would be built should be the ones that benefit the most. But everybody should benefit a little bit, so just kind of a gradually scale away from proximity to the actual resort is, you get less money as you're going further away. That would be a way to kind of try to alleviate some of the property taxes. Because I've told you in the past, I've told other people, my grand scheme, my grand plan, if I could do it, is to eliminate property taxes in the state. I think they're unfair. I don't think people can reasonably pay them, especially if you're retired. And I think you should be able to know that if you own your property, you're done paying for it at some point in your life. You can even stop your insurance because you don't have to have insurance on it if you've paid it off. That's your risk. But you should be able to say, hey, I don't have to do this. So I don't have to work until I'm 75 because I can't afford my house that I've lived in my whole life. Right?
Yeah, because even if you retire, you still have to come up with some sort of money for the state.
Right.
The state still wants their property tax. Otherwise, you lose everything. Yes. Luckily, they changed the rules so they, in the past they would take your house, and then if they sold your house for $200,000 and you owed $10,000 in property taxes, they'd keep the whole $200,000.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you lost your house because you owed taxes. So the state considered it their house. So they kept all $200,000.
Wow.
But a judge in Minnesota said, no. You can't do that. You can only take what people owe you, and then you have to give the rest of the money back.
That's crazy. A judge had to say that.
Right. But that got changed. So at least, but still you're going to lose your house.
Yeah.
Which is,
you'll lose your house. You may get, and who knows what they sell it for,
right.
50% of what it's really worth. They don't care, right? They'll get it on an auction.
Right.
Second piece of Duluth news. Duluth Church plans to host homeless motorists Royals neighborhood. So I read that completely wrong. Let me do a second take, Velma. Duluth Church plan to host homeless motorists Royals neighbors. So this is Vinyard Church, which is out in Kenwood. There's Super One, Kenwood Avenue, and there's a Walgreens here and another church back here. And then this is the church that you go to if you're going to vote in this area. So they've decided, what we really need here is more homeless people. And our good chums at Chum are all for this. We got to do this, and it's supposed to be a temporary measure while they fix up their stuff downtown so that Chum can take them. I don't particularly dislike the plan. It's a pretty good area, actually, because it's surrounded by trees. They've got a big lot. They've got places to put people if they need to, and if they can control it, that's good. The one thing I dislike is there's people on here that said, I didn't even know about this plan until I happened across it on some sort of social media. Some of my neighbors told me. So what it comes down to is it seems like they're trying to sneak this in, which is not the way you should do it. You got neighbors in this area. There's people that live here, that live in this area over here, that live down this road.
Yeah.
They should have a say in this. And if they want to stop it, they should be able to stop it. You can't just sneak it into the city council or whoever it has to go through, the housing administration or whatever. I think it's something that has to be taken into account holistically. The church just can't make this claim that they can do it.
Right. And they were complaining about the traffic that was going to occur on Woodland Avenue because they're trying to put in the condos across from Hartley Field.
Sure.
Well, wouldn't this be under the same ruling? Because now you're going to have 100 cars every single night coming and going because it can only be done at night.
Yeah.
People living in their cars every single night, and then they have to leave the next morning.
Right.
So you're creating a congestion problem. So why is it okay there and not on Woodland?
You're right.
This is they're just and then like you said, they're trying to sneak it in, so it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Right. And we're getting a great comment here. This is a dangerous pedestrian access to this location. It's not a good location driving or walking. There's no sidewalk that gets you to from that side of the street that gets you over to like the grocery store or Walgreens. You actually have to cross Arrowhead Road, which is a fast road. It says it's 30. It's more like, 50 usually. So that's something like I said, I don't necessarily disagree with the concept because it's an okay location for something like that if it's temporary, but you've got to get the neighbors involved with it. You can't just sneak it in. They should have been up front. They should all know about it right now. Everybody in a radius should know about this thing.
Right.
All right, let's go on to Ordean Building downtown to become a 30-unit workforce housing incubator. So this is pretty cool. So the old Ordean Building, now this, I believe, was the Duluth News Tribune, was it not?
Well, that's what I was wondering because I thought they turned Ordean into Duluth East.
No. This is the Ordean Building, not the Ordean Junior High School.
Oh, okay. So that's where I was confused. So.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you this. It's Titanium Partners transforming it, and it looks like a pretty good plan. I mean, they're planning on putting, restaurants downstairs and a coffee place. Something other than Starbucks would be nice down here. Duluth Coffee's way down. This is pretty close to where I work. But no, you know what? It's good to have this building. And the funny thing about this building, and I don't understand it, is I thought the school board bought this. I thought they had like 30,000 square feet in this building. Now maybe they still do, and this is something else. But
this is something else because this is this one's like a block south of that.
Yeah.
This one is closer. This one's farther away to the government buildings. So
Yeah. Because I go running down here, and they used to have tables and everything set up here so you can take a break. Now they got that all blocked off. So that must be something that's going on. But they said that this thing is going to be done in June and have people moving in July. So it's coming. I mean, they're almost done with their construction, which is awesome.
Yeah, the Titanium Partners are also the ones trying to put the condos in across from Hartley Field.
Okay.
So when they make up their mind and they get to go, they get it done.
It looks like it, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they get things done. And so if someone gave them the okay to go, this place would be done in a big hurry.
Right.